So this is genuinely positive. And I mean this when I say this. I think that every time Breanna Stewart speaks, it tends to be something positive. Because let's be real. When it comes down to this in these CBA negotiations, I think anyone knows, like, people that are looking at it are like, oh, there are a lot of people on the player side that, are like kind of pissing people off. They're kind of pissing people off where it's like, they're trying to make this whole thing where it's like, you just got a 700% increase. And it's like, it's not even going for more. It's like, some of the stuff is bad. Some of the stuff is bad. Like saying it's like basically a slap in the face that you only got a 700% increase instead of the 900% increase you want. Like, it is like some of it is pissing people off. Let's be completely real. But it is a very, very, interesting thing. But if you guys haven't seen here, our recent CBA proposal that we got, there's movement, there's traction. We're finally headed in a direction. So I'm excited. That is the most positive thing that we have heard. And I can guarantee you, so many of the responses are for people that I stand by this. I believe most of the old WNBA media and old WNBA fans are not basketball fans because they are saying, sit out until you get exactly what you want. That everybody knows that they're not like that. No one in a CBA gets exactly what they want. And if people saying, oh, the owners aren't going to, like, the owners aren't getting what they want either. Or the league aren't getting what they want either. Like, the league have literally, I'm not joking, the league have doubled the max salary since their first proposal. They have doubled it. It's not like they got what they want either. They thought there was a chance the players were going to accept 700k max salaries. It's about to hit 1.5 million. But, yeah. The owners recognize the players do not. There'll be no surgery. What is that? Like, the owners recognize that and the players do as well. The difference is that the players believe that it's sustainable. The owners aren't willing to take the risk in case it's not. Like, that's, everybody knows. Let's be real. Everybody knows. Breanna Stewart should be the only one speaking for it. She's a vet, understands a big gap between. I don't think NECA's pissed, like, said anything really. Other than the interview where she was like, complaining about the CBA and is like, the WNBA needs to have more millionaires, and the only thing that will stop the WNBA players who last more than 5 years from being a millionaire, pretty much, the only difference is that like, well, the biggest thing to stop that is a strike. Like, the only thing that stops hundreds and hundreds of people from signing contracts to make them millionaires instantly is a strike. But yeah, who knew they all wanted a free league pass? Some good news regarding the CBA. Let's go. There may be season after all. You look at what communication does. It is what it is. Here's the whole quote, the prompt. Here's Stewie. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling like the owners are finally really acknowledging and being receptive to what we want as players. We all had to kind of put our business hats on and get into the mindset. I'm hoping we get this thing done quickly so that we're not late. And that's the thing I've been telling them. Now that we're part of revenue, now that we're part of a revenue share model, you miss games, it's less money. And not to say we should submit and just say yes to any proposal we don't like, but it's a business now and this is how business goes. That is like, when it comes down to it, I think Stewie would play in the WNBA for free. Like, obviously, look, it is what it is. But, like, hypothetically, I think it's never going to happen. But I do believe Stewie would play in the W for free. That being said, she's part of the Players Association. I think there are players that wouldn't play in the WNBA that just dislike the WNBA and wouldn't play regardless of the money. And would rather see the league burn down regardless of the money because of the revenue sharing model and wanting to get out of the NBA. I believe there are players that are like that. But a WNBA season 2026. And like, I think when it's all said and done, everybody knows that there's no such thing as a 2027 WNBA season without a 2026 one. This is not a CBA and a lockout to see whether or not this season happens. This is a whole scenario to see whether or not the players and the league can come together to continue the league. Like that is simply put what it is. Whether or not they're able to come together and continue a league, whether or not they're able to decide and go out there and say, you know what, we're still going to be okay with the WNBA, and I think that it benefits everybody. There's not one person outside of maybe Nafisa Collier, because I don't think Breanna Stewart has enough of an incentive for Unrivaled. And I would say even if Fee and Stewie's ownerships are something, I'd say Alex Basil probably has as much of an ownership stake as both of them do in Unrivaled. Like, he seems to be one of the main people in Unrivaled. So I think when it comes to that is like, I think it seems, I don't know Stewie and Fee, but from the way they're talking, it seems like Stewie's intention for Unrivaled was to be a league to supplement the WNBA. And Fee has it in her head that Unrivaled could replace the WNBA. That's, by the sounds of things, that's like kind of what it seems like. Because, and I believe that there's a lot of players that are like that as well. There's a lot of players in Unrivaled that believes, like, I think that, let's just say hypothetically, if the WNBA offered 2 million max salaries, but you had to sign a deal that if you sign your contract is not guaranteed if you're playing in any other outside league. I think Stewie, like, if they put something in that would almost force Unrivaled to shut down, but it would be like, you know, double the money, and the players would all be making really good money, and they wouldn't have to play in the off season. And the WNBA set up something in like a winter league type thing, and training facilities, and you can play. And maybe WNBA bought Unrivaled, and it's kind of like a 3-on-3 thing. It's not like it's standalone thing. It's kind of a developmental thing for players. You can go to Miami, you have all these places to work out, and they make enough money in their regular season, they're not going to have to be worried about it. I think that's probably an ideal scenario for a Stewie. I don't think it would be for Fee. And that's just, again, based on their public comments, what I'm assuming. I could be completely wrong. It could be the exact opposite. I don't know either of them. Like, at the same time, when it's all said and done, they're absolutely like, Unrivaled has realistically done what it's done. I think no one will argue that it hasn't been a success in terms of what the initial goals were. And yeah, it's a very interesting thing to hear Stewie right here talking about this, saying it's finally heading direction. I'm so excited. Like, that is pretty much saying they're close. And absolutely everyone was like, oh, you know, the league gave the exact same proposal back, and it's like, man, they literally offered like a 12% increase on salaries on top of it. And then the league, obviously the players can probably come back higher. And I do personally think when it comes down to it, they might accept a net rev split if the salaries are high enough. I think if the salaries are high enough, they might accept a net rev split as a supplement to the salaries. And my guess is that as of right now, the salary cap went from, I think it was like 3.5 at the start to now like nearly 6 from the for the players. My assumption would be if the players are probably going to get it up to 7. I think they're going to get it up to about 7 million a team. And I don't think the owners will burn down the WNBA for sake of 1.5 million. I think the players can get a salary, like 7 million salary cap, realistically puts you in a situation where you can have a 1.75 million max base. And like, imagine going from 200k to 1.75 million. And by the way, people are talking about 1.75 million. There are still a lot of players being underpaid at that. There are a lot of players being underpaid. Like, some of those Liberty players are being underpaid. Caitlin Clark's being underpaid. Angel Reese is being underpaid. But there's also going to be the likes of Alyssa Thomas, who, based on the relevancy for the sport, they're going to be overpaid. Or a Tash Cloud making 1.5 million is going to be an overpay, where these players aren't generating 1.5 million worth. But there are players that are going to be making 1.75 million that are going to be generating 80 million worth over the course of that year. And that's kind of what one player in Caitlin, but that kind of just the way things go. It's kind of the way sports are. The when it comes to max contract and salary cap, there's always going to be players making way more than the value they bring, and there's going to be players making way less, and that's just an unfortunate thing of it all. But I do think 1.75, if they could get it up to that, which I think is very doable, like there's no reason they shouldn't. Well, to be fair, that's like 10 years worth of Unrivaled, the average Unrivaled contract right now. So yeah, I don't think they're going to be turning that down.